Confidence isn't about the loudest voice in the room. It's not arrogance. It's not dominance. True confidence is silent, steady, and magnetic. It's the presence you carry, the energy you exude, and the way you make others feel. Today, I want to take you on a journey to uncover 12 subtle yet powerful signs of confidence that naturally draw people in without you even trying. Before you speak a single word, confidence has already introduced you. It's in the way you walk into a room, the way you hold yourself, and the way you make eye contact. Confidence isn't about being the loudest voice or the boldest presence. It's about the quiet energy that surrounds you, the feeling of certainty that others can sense without you needing to announce it. Think about the last time you met someone who exuded confidence. They likely didn't have to do much to make an impression. They weren't trying too hard. They weren't seeking validation, and yet you noticed them. Why? Because confidence is a silent force. It is unspoken, yet powerful. It commands attention without demanding it. We often think that confidence is something external, something that comes from accomplishments, appearance, or the approval of others. But true confidence runs deeper. It's not just about what you do, it's about how you carry yourself. When you walk into a space with certainty, people take note. When your posture is upright, your movements unhurried, and your presence calm, you send a message, I belong here. Before words even come into play, body language tells a story. Your shoulders, your stance, your facial expressions. These elements all contribute to how others perceive you. A confident person doesn't shrink into the background, nor do they try to dominate a room. They exist in perfect balance, grounded in who they are. There's no fidgeting, no nervous glances, no unnecessary movements. Their energy is steady, and that steadiness makes others feel at ease in their presence. Beyond body language, confidence is in how you handle situations. When you walk into an unfamiliar environment, do you hesitate, scanning the room for approval? Or do you step in with quiet assurance, knowing that you are just as entitled to be there as anyone else? Confident people don't seek permission to exist in a space. They own it with ease. They don't rush to prove themselves because they don't need to. Another silent indicator of confidence is eye contact. The ability to look someone in the eyes, not as an act of intimidation, but as a way to connect, shows certainty. A wavering gaze can signal doubt or discomfort, whereas steady eye contact says, I see you, and I am present in this moment. It's not about staring or overpowering someone. It's about being engaged, about demonstrating that you are comfortable both with yourself and with the interaction. There's also power in stillness. In a world that glorifies speed, those who are truly confident don't feel the need to rush. Their words aren't hurried, their movements aren't frantic, they take their time, whether it's in a conversation, a decision, or simply the way they walk. This unhurried nature sends a strong message. They are in control, they are sure of themselves, and they are not seeking external approval. People are naturally drawn to confidence because it provides a sense of security. When you carry yourself with certainty, you make those around you feel safe, inspired, and engaged. They trust you, not because you told them to, but because your presence reassures them. The most compelling thing about confidence is that it doesn't require words. It's a presence. It's the way you walk, the way you hold yourself, the way you occupy space. Long before you speak, you have already communicated who you are. And the more you embrace that, the more effortlessly people will be drawn to you. Silence is often misunderstood. Many people see it as awkward, empty, or something that needs to be filled. But those who are truly confident understand that silence is not a void, it's a presence. It's a space of strength, clarity, and self-assurance. When you're comfortable in silence, you communicate something powerful without ever needing to say a word. Think about the moments in life when silence carries the most weight. A pause before delivering a key point in a speech. A moment of eye contact between two people who deeply understand each other. The stillness before an important decision is made. Silence is not the absence of communication, it is a form of it. And those who are at ease in silence radiate a quiet confidence that draws others in. Many people feel the urge to fill every quiet moment with words. They speak quickly to avoid pauses, as if a brief silence signals uncertainty or weakness. But the most confident individuals don't fear these moments. They know that silence creates space for thought, for presence, and for connection. They don't rush to respond in conversations. They take their time, listening fully before choosing their words. This not only makes their words more impactful, but also signals to others that they are grounded, composed, and in control. And when someone is uncomfortable with silence, it often reveals underlying insecurity. They may speak excessively to seek validation, over-explain to avoid judgment, or nervously fill gaps in conversation because they fear being perceived as uninteresting. But confidence is knowing that you don't have to prove yourself in every moment. It's understanding that you are enough as you are, even in stillness. Being comfortable in silence also reflects a deep level of self-trust. It means you don't rely on external noise to feel secure. You don't need constant reassurance, distractions, or validation to be at ease. You trust yourself enough to sit with your thoughts, to be present in the moment, and to let things unfold naturally. People who possess this quality exude a sense of calm that others find incredibly reassuring. This comfort in silence extends to relationships as well. Have you ever spent time with someone where silence didn't feel awkward, where you could sit together without speaking and it felt completely natural? That kind of ease comes from mutual confidence, both in yourself and in the connection. You don't feel the need to entertain, impress, or fill every moment with words. Instead, you can simply be. Confident individuals use silence as a tool. In conversations, they know that a well-timed pause can be more powerful than a stream of words. A pause allows their message to sink in, gives weight to their thoughts, and encourages others to listen more attentively. Silence can shift the energy of a room, command respect, and make people lean in rather than tune out. Beyond communication, silence is also where self-awareness grows. When you embrace quiet moments instead of avoiding them, you gain clarity. You become more attuned to your thoughts, your emotions, and your instincts. Many people fill their days with constant stimulation, music, social media, conversation, because silence forces them to confront themselves. But those who are comfortable in silence welcome this reflection. They see it as an opportunity for growth rather than something to escape. In a world that is constantly noisy, being at peace in silence is a rare and powerful trait. It signals that you are not easily shaken, that you are confident in your presence, and that you do not need to prove your worth through excessive words or actions. When you embrace silence with confidence, you stand out, not because you are the loudest in the room, but because your presence speaks for itself. Confidence is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it reveals itself in the smallest, most subtle ways, through micro-expressions. These fleeting facial movements, often lasting less than a second, can communicate more than words ever could. Those who have mastered micro-expressions don't just understand their own emotions, they control how they present themselves to the world. This quiet control draws people in, making them feel safe, respected, and connected. Micro-expressions are the tiny shifts in facial muscles that reveal emotions before we even realize it. A slight smirk, a raised eyebrow, a softening of the eyes. These small signals send powerful messages. Confident individuals are aware of these expressions, both in themselves and in others. They use this awareness to navigate conversations, establish trust, and project self-assurance without needing to say much. One of the most powerful micro-expressions of confidence is steady eye contact. A confident person doesn't avoid someone's gaze or dart their eyes nervously. Instead, they maintain just the right amount of eye contact, not staring aggressively, but looking with intention. This tells others, I see you and I'm fully present. At the same time, they are skilled at noticing when others break eye contact, look down, or show hesitation. This helps them read a room quickly and adjust their approach to make others feel at ease. A subtle smile is another micro-expression that conveys confidence. A forced or exaggerated smile can come across as insincere, but a slight, natural smile signals warmth and ease. It shows that the person is comfortable in their own skin and welcomes interaction. This kind of micro-expression makes others feel invited into a conversation rather than pressured. The way someone moves their eyebrows can also indicate confidence. A slow, deliberate raise of the eyebrows suggests curiosity and engagement. It signals that the person is actively listening, interested in what is being said, and thinking critically. On the other hand, furrowed brows combined with tense lips can indicate stress, insecurity, or discomfort. Those who have mastered micro-expressions remain aware of how their face reacts in different situations, ensuring that their expressions align with the message they want to convey. Another key indicator of confidence is controlled facial stillness. While nervous individuals tend to fidget, twitch, or display involuntary facial reactions, confident people remain composed. Their expressions are intentional, not reactive. They do not flinch at confrontation, nor do they let their face betray insecurity. This level of control is not about suppressing emotion, but about choosing how and when to express it. A small nod at the right moment can also be a silent yet powerful signal. It encourages the speaker, acknowledges understanding, and maintains engagement. A confident person doesn't interrupt or talk over others. Instead, they use these micro-expressions to show they are listening. This ability to make people feel heard and valued is one of the reasons why confident individuals are so magnetic. Micro-expressions are also useful in detecting authenticity in others. Those who have mastered them can sense when someone is being dishonest, uncertain, or insincere. A quick flicker of tension around the mouth, a half second of hesitation before responding, or a mismatch between words and facial expressions can reveal more than a person intends to share. By understanding these cues, confident individuals navigate conversations more effectively, responding with empathy, clarity, or assertiveness as needed. This mastery of microexpressions doesn't come from manipulation, but from deep self-awareness. Confident individuals are in tune with their own emotions and reactions. They don't allow stress, insecurity, or doubt to control their facial expressions. Instead, they use their expressions to communicate with intention, making others feel comfortable, respected, and understood. Ultimately, confidence is not just about what you say. It's about what you silently communicate. Those who have mastered micro-expressions exude an effortless sense of certainty, connection, and presence. Their ability to control and interpret these small, powerful signals makes them not only engaging, but unforgettable. Authenticity is one of the most powerful traits a person can possess. It cannot be faked, forced, or fabricated. True confidence comes from being unapologetically yourself, without the need for approval or validation. People are naturally drawn to authenticity because it is rare, refreshing, and deeply human. When someone is genuine, they create an energy that others want to be around. It is not about perfection or trying to impress. It is about being real. In a world where so many people wear masks, hiding behind curated images, rehearsed responses, and filtered personalities, authenticity stands out. You can sense it the moment you meet someone who is truly comfortable in their own skin. They don't try to be something they're not, and they don't shift their personality to fit the expectations of others. Instead, they show up as they are, with no need to pretend. This kind of self-assurance is magnetic because it gives others permission to do the same. When you are authentic, you radiate confidence without arrogance. You don't feel the need to prove yourself because you are already secure in who you are. You trust that your worth is not determined by how many people like you, how perfectly you perform, or how well you fit into someone else's idea of success. Instead, you define your own path, follow your own values, and embrace your unique strengths and imperfections. This level of self-trust is incredibly attractive because it creates a sense of stability and honesty that people respect. Authenticity also fosters deeper connections. People can sense when someone is being fake, even if they can't always explain why. There's an instinctive reaction to inauthenticity. It feels forced, rehearsed, or disconnected. On the other hand, when someone is real, their words and actions align. They are consistent in how they show up, and that consistency builds trust. You never have to guess what they truly think or how they truly feel because they are transparent, honest, and genuine in their interactions. Confident people don't fear vulnerability because they understand that authenticity isn't about looking strong all the time. It's about being true to yourself. They admit when they don't know something. They own their mistakes. They express emotions without feeling weak. They don't try to be perfect, and that's exactly what makes them so compelling. When you are real, people feel safe around you. They know they don't have to put on an act, impress you, or pretend to be something they're not. Another reason authenticity is magnetic is that it naturally filters out the wrong people and attracts the right ones. When you pretend to be someone you're not, you might gain approval, but it will be from people who don't truly know or appreciate the real you. However, when you show up as yourself, fully and unapologetically, you attract people who resonate with your true nature. These connections are stronger, more fulfilling, and more meaningful because they are built on honesty rather than pretense. Authenticity is also the key to long-term confidence. When you try to maintain a false persona, it's exhausting. You constantly have to monitor what you say, how you act, and whether you're living up to the image you've created. But when you embrace who you are, there is no need for effort or performance. Confidence becomes effortless because it is no longer something you are trying to project. It is simply a byproduct of being yourself. People are drawn to those who live and speak their truth. When you are authentic, you create a presence that others admire. You inspire them to be real, to embrace their own quirks, and to let go of the need for constant approval. You don't just attract attention, you attract trust, respect, and genuine connection. And that is far more powerful than any external validation ever could be. In a world that moves fast, where people rush to respond, react, and be heard, the ability to pause is a rare and powerful skill. The most confident individuals understand that a well-placed pause carries more weight than a flood of words. It creates space for thought, adds emphasis, and commands attention. It is not hesitation, it is control. The power of pause is the ability to be intentional, to resist impulsive reactions, and to speak or act with precision and impact. Pausing before speaking allows for clarity. Instead of rushing into a response, a confident person takes a breath, considers their words, and then speaks with intention. This small moment of silence shows that they are not speaking just to fill the air, but to contribute something meaningful. It eliminates unnecessary words, making their message more impactful. People tend to listen more closely when someone speaks with deliberate pauses because it signals that what is being said matters. On speech, the power of pause is just as effective in body language. A confident person doesn't fidget or react instantly to every situation. Instead, they pause. They take in the moment, process their surroundings, and then respond with calmness. This presence of mind exudes confidence, showing that they are in control rather than being controlled by external circumstances. When someone rushes to fill every gap in a conversation or reacts without thinking, it can signal nervousness or insecurity, but a person who can pause demonstrates composure and self-assurance. Pausing in conversations also builds trust. When you take a moment before responding, it shows that you are truly listening rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. This deepens the quality of interactions and makes others feel heard. In negotiations, a well-timed pause after a statement can be more persuasive than any argument. It allows the other person to absorb what has been said and consider its weight. Silence in these moments creates a natural pressure, encouraging others to reflect and often agree. The power of pause is also essential in decision-making. Instead of acting impulsively, confident individuals pause before making a choice. They take a moment to assess, reflect, and consider the long-term impact of their actions. This ability to pause prevents regret and allows for smarter, more thoughtful decisions. It shows discipline, patience, and a level of self-control that others admire. In contrast, those who rush into decisions often find themselves reacting emotionally rather than strategically. Pausing before reacting to criticism is another key sign of confidence. When someone is insulted or challenged, the instinct for many is to immediately defend themselves. But confident individuals don't react out of emotion, they pause. They let the words settle, they consider the source, and they decide whether a response is even necessary. Often, silence itself is the most powerful response. It shows that they are not easily shaken, that they are secure enough to let things pass without needing to engage in every battle. In moments of tension or conflict, the power of pause can de-escalate situations. When emotions run high, a pause allows everyone to take a breath, reset, and move forward with a clearer mindset. Leaders who master the pause in high-pressure moments earn respect because their restraint shows wisdom and confidence. They don't rush to prove themselves or dominate a conversation. Instead, They use silence as a tool to create space for resolution. Even in storytelling and public speaking, the best communicators know that silence is just as important as words. A strategic pause before delivering a key point makes the audience lean in. It builds anticipation, allowing the message to land with greater impact. It turns ordinary speech into something compelling and memorable. The power of pause is more than a communication tool. It is a mindset. It reflects self-control, emotional intelligence, and a deep understanding of how to navigate conversations and situations with intention. Those who embrace the pause exude confidence, not because they say more, but because they know when to say less. In the end, it is not always the loudest person who commands attention. It is often the one who knows when to be silent. True confidence is not about being the center of attention, proving superiority, or making others feel small. The most genuinely confident individuals don't need to diminish anyone to feel secure in themselves. Instead, they lift others up. They recognize that real strength comes from empowering those around them, and in doing so, they naturally draw people in. Lifting others up is not about empty praise or forced encouragement. It comes from a place of authenticity. Confident individuals celebrate the success of others without feeling threatened because they understand that someone else's achievements do not take away from their own. They see life as a place of abundance where there is enough room for everyone to shine. Instead of competing for recognition, they create an environment where people feel valued and capable. One way they do this is through genuine encouragement. When they see potential in someone, they call it out. They don't just give compliments for the sake of it. They point out strengths, skills, and qualities that others may not even recognize in themselves. This kind of validation is powerful because it comes from someone who is secure enough not to need anything in return. They build others up simply because they believe in them. Another way confident people lift others is by creating opportunities. Instead of hoarding success, they share it. They introduce people to valuable connections, recommend them for positions, and create spaces where others can grow. They are not afraid to share knowledge, mentor others, or step aside when someone else is better suited for a role. Their confidence allows them to see leadership as an opportunity to elevate those around them rather than a position to protect. Confident individuals also listen, truly listen. They don't just wait for their turn to speak. They make others feel heard, valued, and understood. This is one of the most underrated ways to lift someone up. In a world where many people feel ignored or overlooked, being fully present in a conversation makes a person feel important. Confident people don't feel the need to dominate discussions or prove their intelligence at every turn. Instead, they ask questions, show curiosity, and validate the perspectives of those they engage with. They also give credit where it's due. Insecure people often take more than their share of recognition, fearing that acknowledging others will somehow make them seem less capable. But confident individuals do the opposite. They highlight team efforts, acknowledge contributions, and make sure others get the recognition they deserve. They know that leadership is not about being in the spotlight. It's about shining that light on others. Perhaps one of the most powerful ways confident people lift others up is by believing in them before they believe in themselves. Many people struggle with self-doubt, questioning their abilities and fearing failure. A truly confident person has the ability to see beyond those doubts. They remind others of their worth, challenge them to step outside their comfort zones, and support them in ways that make them feel capable. Importantly, they do all of this without expectation. They don't lift others up to get something in return. Their confidence allows them to give freely, knowing that success is not a limited resource. They understand that when people feel supported and encouraged, they perform at their best. And this benefits everyone. At the heart of it all, confident people make others feel good, not just about themselves, but about their own potential. They don't just inspire admiration. They inspire action. They make people believe in themselves, step up, and reach for things they once thought were out of reach. This kind of impact is lasting, and it is why confidence, when used to lift others, becomes truly magnetic.